Spiderman is a side-scrolling action platformer developed by LJN. This game is based on the animated series from the 90s, which many still considers to be the best animated Spider-Man cartoon. Now I should point out that this was also released on the Sega Genesis, but the level layouts and graphics are different, so this review is just for the Super Nintendo version. Now there's not too much of a plot here. Some supervillains break out of a Ravencroft prison. They did a good job putting a lot of villains in this game, such as Dr. Octopus, the Green Goblin, Rhino, Mysterio, and the Lizard. Spider-Man must fight through 6 levels to take them all down. A laboratory, the construction zone, Brooklyn Bridge, Coney Island, Jameson's penthouse, and Ravencroft Asylum. Graphics are well done for this game. The characters are big and detailed, and some of the enemies, such as the bomb burping birds and the self-playing carnival games in level 4, are really quite impressive. The animation is pretty good throughout the game. The sound in Spider-Man is also good. There aren't any voiceovers, but there are some grunts and groans to accompany the explosions and punches. The music is also quite good in the game. Each track fits the mood of the level. My favorite one is the one on level 3, Coney Island, when you are in the funhouse. That music always makes me smile when you hear it with all the woo-woos and the banging of oversized mallets. And you even get the theme song at the beginning of the game. Sure, it's not one of the best themes out there, but heck, at least it's there. The controls is the main problem with Spider-Man, due to the general lack of responsiveness. Now you can punch, kick, and web your enemies, and you also get 2 different grenades to use. Spidey is a little sluggish, so simply getting around is a little bit of a chore sometimes. Hand-to-hand combat takes some getting used to because of this, and jumping and kicking at the same time can be difficult to pull off. The L trigger button is used for both running and clinging on walls. The X button is used to throw webbing, but that doesn't do much damage against enemies. You only have a certain amount of web to shoot at the bad guys, so you have to use it sparingly. But you can collect more web by collecting the web icon, and you can gain more health by collecting the red Spider-Man icon, and extra lives by collecting the yellow Spider-Man icon. The R trigger is used to swing. Swinging can be the most frustrating part of the game. It's easy to swing just by pressing the R button. The problem here is that sometimes there will be a delay in the controls, causing you to swing late, and just sometimes it completely misses the target. I mean, come on, it's right there. The level design is another area that could have used a little bit more work. The game doesn't give you a sense of direction on where to go. And there are several points in the game where there is a foreground and background that Spider-Man is able to jump between. The unfortunate thing about this is that it's often difficult to tell exactly where this is in the case. And even then, it can be hard to jump just right so that Spidey moves from one section to the other. The result is plenty of button mashing and hoping to find the correct spot. For an example, in level 2 on top of the building, on my first playthrough, I had no clue where to go. I kept trying to jump right only to find a hidden spot. I didn't realize I had to jump behind a construction to go left only to swing across. And in level 3, the roller coaster section can be a bit difficult only because your character is too close to the screen, and it's hard to tell when those damn roller coasters are coming. And in the final level, you have to collect 4 keys to use on the different machines. The keys are scattered throughout the level, so there will be plenty of backtracking on this level. Now there's the sewer. Spider-Man has a bonus area in almost every level, and it's the same every time. I think it's a great bonus area since it's loaded with 1-ups, webbing, and Fantastic Four icons. But it seems kind of lazy on a developer's part that they use the same sewer with the exact same layout of items and enemies every time on every level. But it's the only place in the game where you can find the Fantastic Four icons, which can be used to get help from the members of the group. Their help ranges from temporary invincibility to inflicting damage on all the enemies on the screen. It's similar to the superhero icon in Spider-Man and Venom and Maximum Carnage. You also fight Hydro Man and the Lizard down here. Now the bosses are quite easy to defeat in the game. The first level, Dr. Octopus, he looks hard at first. All you have to do is go up top, turn on the machine, and when he enters it, just web him a few times. The other bosses like Mysterio, Smythe, Green Goblin, Rhino, and the Lizard are all pretty easy to defeat. I rarely had a problem with those guys. And I thought Venom was probably the hardest villain, but he still wasn't that difficult. Despite my few gripes about the game's controls, I still have fun with this. Sure, it's definitely not the best Spider-Man game out there on the Super Nintendo, but it's not a bad game either. It can be quite challenging. If you're a fan of the animated series or Spider-Man himself, it's worth checking out. Thank you for watching my review, and if you like this, please hit the subscribe button for your support, and if there's anything else you want me to review on this channel, please leave comments below. Thanks again for your support, and have a great day.